Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another film review. Tonight we're looking at another modern horror film called Stop Motion. Now this is a film that's been funded by the BFI, so it is a British horror film. And wow, Britain does it again with another absolutely fucking creepy horror film. This one is really creepy. Now this one is based on a young woman who does stop motion animation, and she seems to have a group of friends too that does it. I never knew so many women were into stop motion animation till I saw this film. So this young girl is staying at home with her mum, and her mum who's also been doing stop motion animation, and her mum's really ill. She's got like arthritis and all these sort of illnesses going on, and her daughter, the main character, is making her finish this film. And the film they're making is about this Cyclops who sees themselves as a dead sort of person, and they're making a sort of movie. And her mother gets quite it's quite strict with her, yeah, while she's making this stop motion movie. So she's got these sort of puppets of like a Cyclops, and she moves it like 2 millimeters, then half a millimeter, and then like this for every shot that she makes. And she makes, which looks actually quite a good little film, but her mother doesn't like it, so you've got to start again tomorrow. And so then we see her sort of like talking to her mum and sort of sitting down and having dinner with her, and sort of like she had to cut her meat for her because she can't do it and all this. And then she goes out for the night to a pub where her friends are, who all make stop motion animation, and her boyfriend's there. And we get introduced to these people. And then she goes back to her boyfriend's and spends the night there, but has to leave early in the morning to get back home before her mother wakes, because I don't think her mum knows about her going out. Anyway, so she arrives back home after being at her boyfriend's. Her boyfriend doesn't want her to leave, but eventually she leaves and goes back home. And she goes to bed, and as soon as she lays in the bed, the mother tells her to get up, come on, we've got work to do. So she gets up again, and she's quite ratty this time. She's in an irritable mood. She won't even cut her mum's food up because she's tired and stuff like this. I suppose she's feeling the pressure of her mother sort of like controlling her, because it's like her mum wants this film done before she dies, and she's the main character, the young girl's like her hands that's using her to make this stop animation film. And it gets a bit spooky here, and because her mother's telling her to move the head this way a little bit, this way a bit, and then her mother's voice changes like a sort of deeper sort of voice, and she turns around and her mother's gone, and then she sees her laying on the floor, and the fact is her mum's then we get like a little jump scare, and it's the fact her mum's had a stroke, and that's what's happened. So we go to the hospital, where we get this sort of glassed, dream-like, blurred sort of like scene of the film where a mother's in hospital, and the young girl is sort of like telling them what's happened and all this sort of thing. And then she's back at her flat with her boyfriend, and she says, look, I've got to finish this film for my mum. So she then goes to this different place, not in her mum's flat. She goes to this like abandoned sort of like set of flats and apartments on floor 8, room 801. And she goes in there, and none of these rooms are sort of occupied on these flats. Her boyfriend's taken her and given her some keys, and she's moved into this flat to finish off this film. I don't know why she's not doing it at the home, but she's moved to this flat. And as soon as she's in there, she starts meeting some bizarre characters, mostly this young girl who's very, very obnoxious and annoying. And she sort of like befriends our main character straight away. Although she's quite rude a lot of the time and not very nice, but she befriends our main character, and she peeks in her flat and sees all this equipment up. She asks what she's doing, and she tells her I'm making this stop motion movie. and she goes in to see what's going on, and she shows her the film of the Cyclops, and she says, "Oh, it's boring." She goes, "I've got a better story than that." And then she goes on to tell her about this girl that lives in this forest all alone, and she's there and being followed by the man who nobody wants to meet. And then things change in the film. Uh, we cut to the scene where the two Cyclops have been destroyed, and the scenery of that she also had for the Cyclops has been all changed to like a woodlands, loads of sticks and twigs, and then there's this different, very disturbing looking sort of doll made of mortician mold, which is what they use on dead bodies, and they've made it out of this. And it looks a very disturbing sort of girl, and she's made a little bit of a stop motion, but she can't remember a lot of it because she's woken up thinking, what's happened here? And then sees the video that she's made, and she likes it. And the girl comes back to the room, and she shows her, and she goes, "Oh, it doesn't look right, doesn't look right." And then the young girl goes to the fridge and gets a piece of steak, and makes her make the doll again, but out of steak, then covered over with this mortician sort of clay, like a skin. And then they make it again, and she's really liking the progression of her film. But things are starting to go a bit weird. So what's going to happen? Is this girl anything to do with what's going to happen in the future? Is the story she's telling going to play out? Is she going to become obsessed with this doll? Because again, one of her friends pops along to see if she's all right, a female, and she comes in and she shows her the video, and she likes it as well. She says it's something they could use in their adverts. So she thinks she's on the right track for the right thing. So is she? You need to watch it and find out, because I'm not going to tell you any more about the plot of Stop Motion. But what do I think of it? I thought it was an amazing film. Really, really enjoyed it. It's a British film. It's completely creepy. It's really original story, which I loved, and it's absolutely fantastic. We need more films like this out there with an original sort of story. And these last few years, we've had an array of different range of stories from British horror. We've had The Stylist, we've had The Two Witches, we've had this and other amazing films. Britain is on its game when it comes to horror, modern horror. Really fantastic. The pluses of this edition, it looks great. It looks really cool. It's got a very sort of dark, ambient sort of look to the film. But you can see it's a well-budgeted film. It's not like clumsy camera work or anything. It's all really well filmed, and the colours are striking. But again, very warm in a lot of other places, and it's really cool. And the character's light is really nice. She's really likable. Friends are a bit shit and a bit annoying, but she's really likable. And the little girl is horrible. I don't like her at all. The mum's creepy too. But the one annoying thing about the film is the sound. It's supposed to be like it, but you can hear them going, like breathing heavily, and like when they're eating, you can hear every mouthful they're swallowing. And it's like, oh, that's quite unsettling noises. You know, the noises that you don't like to hear when people are eating, the chewing and the gorgy sort of noises. Well, you hear those in abundance, like me when I'm having my drink. But you hear them in abundance in this film. That's a little bit of a, oh, I don't like that, but it's unsettling and unnerving, and I kind of like it too. It does have some gore in there, which is really cool, and it is an absolute creepy film, and I'm going to give it an amazing watch and give it a 9 out of 10. Absolutely really enjoyed every minute of this, just solely down to its originality. If you're going to watch it, I suggest putting headphones on, because of those annoying and irritating sounds. They really bring like an extra sort of element to the film, which is really cool. The music's quite creepy in the film. There's loads of squeaky noises going on in the background, and the young girl singing quite a lot in the block of flats and stuff like that. And it's a really atmospheric horror film. Highly recommend it. Stop motion, 9 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below what you think of it. You may not have seen it yet. It's I believe it's been on Shudder. But I like it because it's original story. It's a British funded film, like I said, by the BFI, which is fantastic. I do love BFI as well. This isn't a BFI release, I don't believe. I think it's more of a sort of generic release. Yeah, it's a generic release. And it's really, really cool to watch. And I really highly recommend it. Guys, till my next video, please check out some more channels. Check out Horror Hands, The Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Design, Pizzawell, I Am Ice Lord, Cat Watches Horror Movies, and Grumpy Andrew's Haunted House. And check out Popcorn Horror. And a massive shout out to my lad. Till the next video, please look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I will see you all soon.